Shall we start?
All right. Yeah. Hi, everyone, and welcome to AI for High Performance Computing. We're absolutely thrilled to have you join us for this exciting session. My name is Pratnya Bhukan, and I'll be your technical support for today. Before we dive in, let's make sure that you are set up for a smooth and enjoyable experience. If you have any questions, you can put them in our Q&A section in your toolbar to submit them anytime during the session. And if you can use the chat feature to share your comments and reactions and make this a truly interactive session. I'll be here throughout the session, so if you run into any technical issues or have any concerns, you can message me directly. Now, let's talk about what's ahead. Together, today, we'll explore the transformative potential of machine learning and AI techniques in optimizing high performance computing. This is going to be an engaging experience, so let's keep it collaborative and fun. Without further ado, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our speaker for today, Revati Dhotre. Revati is a passionate data scientist and AI/ML enthusiast. She has been dedicated to bridging the gap between industry needs and cutting edge AI solutions. She currently serves as a research assistant at the University of Illinois, where she explores innovative applications in high performance computing and big data visualization. Today, she'll guide us through the exciting world of AI in high performance computing, sharing her insights in the AI high performance computing and visions for the future of this field. Revati, the stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Pratnya. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So I'm Revati, and sorry for the video off because I'm traveling. So yeah, I'm sorry for that. But yeah, it's great to have you here. And about me, I would just like to say that I'm specializing in convergence of AI and high performance computing, and it's my pleasure to discuss a topic that is so integral part of the future of science, industry, and innovation. Coming to the slides. Basically, this presentation, that's AI for high performance computing, is all about accelerating innovation through convergence. It's all about understanding how these two cutting edge domains, are reshaping the way we solve the most complex problems in the world. Right from simulating weather patterns and discovering new drugs to training state of the art AI models like GPT-4. So basically, HPC has been at the forefront of solving problems requiring massive computational power for decades. And now, AI has revolutionized the automation and intelligence in technology. So, altogether, it's like unlocking possibilities that we have never thought it would be possible. Like, think of faster simulations, maybe smarter algorithms, like real time problem solving. You name it, you can get it through HPC. Next slide. Okay, so basic agenda for this entire session would be like what the overview of artificial intelligence is and how it can be leveraged in potential HPC applications. Then we have then we'll be seeing how AI is being transformed in HPC workloads by speeding up simulations, improving resource allocations, and automating the optimized tasks as well. Coming for HPC for AI, we will flip the coin and look at how HPC systems are enabling breakthroughs, and also they are incorporating distributed training of massive models and hyperparameter optimization. Coming to real world applications, we'll dive into examples from various domains like healthcare, climate modeling, autonomous systems, you name it. So, to see how this synergy works in action. Coming to challenges and future directions, we'll also explore some of the major challenges in this field, like how energy efficiency and scalability are one of the key areas where we are trying to work on. And further, we'll discuss about where we are heading to next, and also including quantum computing and AI optimized HPC. And also, please feel free to ask questions, and I would like to, you know, have a more collaborative session as well. Okay, next slide, please. Oh, it's not. Next slide. Yeah. Now that we've outlined the agenda, let's begin by understanding what the two core concepts are, basically artificial intelligence and high performance computing. So, artificial intelligence, as you know, it's essentially the science of teaching machines how to perform tasks that are typically requiring human intelligence. But now it's at least not now, but in future, it will outbeat human intelligence. Over the years, AI has progressed a lot from rule-based systems in 1950s to today's deep learning models and RAGs, which actually power the applications like ChatGPT, autonomous vehicles, and predictive analytics. Coming to HPC on the other side, it involves systems that can perform trillions of calculations per second. Just think of a maximized computer size of what your laptop is. The number of calculations your laptop can do and how much the HPC can do. It's that huge. These systems are crucial for solving problems that require progressively massive data sets, or maybe it's running on large scale simulations such as weather forecasting or drug discovery, as I said before. And let's see how the relationship between AI and HPC goes. It's like these two fields are converging because AI models require massive computational power, and only HPC can provide this. For instance, think of training ChatGPT 4. Now, this processes petabytes of data, reminding you petabytes of data. So, it requires thousands of CPUs, GPUs that are running on HPC infrastructure. At the same time, AI is also improving HPC efficiency by optimizing resource allocation and detecting faults in real time. To basically give you an example, think uh, think of AlphaFold. That's an AI model used for predicting protein structures. Now, this model uses HPC to run simulations that would otherwise take decades, like literally decades, to complete in weeks instead. Even with HPC, we are now just at weeks, compiling it at weeks, but that's a huge, huge breakthrough. In the next section, we'll see how AI is accelerating HPC workflows. But before that, I just wanted to know what are the examples where you have seen AI or HPC in action? Maybe have you worked on any in projects that involve AI predictions or maybe large scale simulations? I would really love to hear your experiences and questions about their convergence. Oh, the question is, uh, think of examples where you have worked on projects involving AI or maybe AI powered predictions, large scale simulations, or maybe someone is working on HPC, like high performance computing, maybe anything related to that. Do you have any experiences? You can just share it. Okay, so you've had experience with RAG at work. That's great. That's great. But yeah, cool. Anyone else? Okay, that's a very uh, brilliant answer for that, I would say, because RAG is something that's usually being more involved in, and it's now being developed a lot for HPC as well as for AI. Let's move on to the next slide. Basically, as I said, the relationship between AI and HPC is that AI demands for a lot of computational resources because it has to train its model, and HPC is the only system that can provide AI the workflow for it. And now think of it like an infinity sign. AI requires HPC, and HPC requires AI. Why does HPC require AI? To optimize its workflow, to predict the workflows, to predict which of the jobs that it is handling requires more resources, more capabilities, and address these issues at the forefront rather than accelerating it more and having a break point. So that is where we need AI, and also we have lots of applications where we are trying to use AI for HPC. As I said, it's a lot of training for speed, scale, and intelligence. And that is what the industry requires right now. Next slide. So now that we've understood the basic foundation of AI and HPC, let's take a closer look at how let's take a closer look at how HPC has evolved over the time. Basically, it has come a long way since the inception, and its milestones have paved the way for some of the most groundbreaking advancements in science and technology. Starting from Cray 1, in 1976, Cray 1 was introduced as the world's first supercomputer that is capable of vector processing. It may sound modest today, but at 160 megaflops, it was a giant leap for computing power. It allowed us to model weather patterns and run simulations that were impossible before. Next turn would be the ASCII Red, ASCII Red in 1997, which broke the teraflop barrier. It enabled simulations at an unprecedented scale. It became a vital tool for the nuclear simulations and advanced engineering. Then came Roadrunner in 2008. It's a supercomputer that became the first petaflop supercomputer, setting a new benchmark for the hybrid computing using both CPUs and GPUs. Now, this laid the groundwork for today's AI applications, okay? So, which heavily are relying on GPU acceleration. And that is how we see a new breakthrough by Fugaku in 2021, which stands as the world's fastest supercomputer with over 442 petaflops. It has been instrumental in tackling real world challenges from modeling COVID to advancing material science. Now, exascale computing is coming into place. We are looking ahead. Exascale computing systems will reach quintillion flops, revolutionizing fields like climate modeling, AI, fusion, energy research. And one of the most overlooked, I think I can say, the breakthrough for this exascale computing is Aurora supercomputer and also the Frontier. I'm glad to say that I have worked on the metrics of Aurora, and I can share a few insights on that. Next slide. So now let's focus on how the evolution of AI is growing and how its computational demands have pushed HPC to its limits. Basically, in early days, AI was just rule based. So it used to rely just on the predefined logics. So now these systems were relatively simple, which required minimal computational resources. Now, when machine learning came into place, I can say around 1980s and 2000s, with machine learning, AI transitioned into finding patterns in data, and this increased computational requirements. And more of algorithms came forward, like SVM, decision trees, and all of these were parallelized. Then came deep learning in 2010 to the current present world where we are exploring RAGs and other neural networks. Deep learning has, however, brought an explosion in computational demand, but GPUs became the backbone of AI as neural networks like uh, CNN, GANs required intense matrix operations. Then came in 2020 is that's the large scale AI model. That's today we are in the era of large scale AI models, considering GPT-4 with around 175 billion parameters. It took around really thousands of GPUs and weeks of training to develop. I think it took even more longer. The impact on HPC for this is that sorry for the disturbance. HPC has had to evolve alongside AI to meet these demands. This not only includes just faster processors, but it also optimized interconnects, memory systems, and energy efficient designs. Coming to real world applications, think of autonomous vehicles, for instance. Like training the AI system for these vehicles involves a lot of processing, like massive data sets using HPC. So, similarly, in astronomy, AI analyzes terabytes of data from telescopes in hours. and all thanks to HPC for this. Next slide. So as we've seen the power of HPC, let's see how what are the demands of it. Like, just a minute. Like, what are the benefits of it? What are the key areas where AI is enhancing it? As I said, training GPT-3 took around a lot of years with 355 GPUs, and lots of weeks of time, and then energy efficiency was more. A good example I can give you is Google's TPU that provides optimized power efficiency for training LLMs, but there are more coming away. Next slide. So yeah, as I said, autonomous vehicles require HPC for training their models in real and making real-time decisions, and then astronomy and healthcare, where in healthcare there are a lot of DNA, RNA analysis, where HPC is actually providing groundbreaking research, and HPC is the aid for all of this. Next slide, please. So, having seen how AI has, places its demand on the HPC system, now let's look at how AI also enhances and also it accelerates the HPC workflows. By integrating AI into HPC, we are not just solving the problems faster, but we are trying to redefine how these problems are being approached. Basically, we start with data processing as we do in data analysis. So, AI automates the tedious task of cleaning and structuring the large data set. That is where a lot of scientists now are struggling to pre-process the data, make analysis of it, make very research oriented, or everyone has their own demands to see what kind of data they want, or to meet the needs of data. So basically that again comes down to simulation acceleration. So now AI models that are known to be surrogate models can replace traditional solvers in simulations. Like, for example, neural networks can simulate fluid dynamics in seconds compared to hours with conventional methods, and that's the power of HPC. Coming to resource optimization in HPC environment, there is reinforcement learning algorithms that are being applied where to optimize the job scheduling and ensuring resources like GPUs are used efficiently and minimizing the idle time. So basically, that again leads to fault detection and recovery patterns where AI can predict failures in HPC systems. For example, by analyzing log data and heat patterns, and then AI can detect potential hardware issues before they cause downtime. This is the exact area where I have worked in AI and HPC, and trying to detect what the log performances are. Like basically, in 1 second, there are terabytes of data that come from the logs of high performance supercomputer. To analyze these logs, it takes a lot of computational power, and only a supercomputer can deliver those results. So apart from the real world example that I have worked on, another one is the drug discovery of the DeepMind's AlphaFold, which used AI to predict protein structures and speeding up the research that would have taken years otherwise. Similarly, AI is helping the IBM's Deep Thunder project. If you can just go and search what is Deep Thunder project of IBM, it's improving the weather forecasting accuracy by processing massive data sets very fast, like very fast. And then benefits of AI in HPC is that overall AI can accelerate workflow by making them faster, more accurate, and more efficient. And thereby it reduces the cost, energy usage, and processing time while increasing the reliability. Next slide. Then comes the exploration of how high performance computing plays a pivotal role in advancing AI. As AI models grow larger and data sets become more complex, as you know, you guys are dealing with a lot of data, HPC systems have become more indispensable in AI development. If we think of key contributions of next slide, If you think of key contributions of HPC to AI, uh, there are it's for scaling AI models, training large AI models like GPT. It's computationally intensive, and then HPC systems, with their ability to parallelize tasks across thousands of GPUs, will reduce the training time significantly. And then handling big data. HPC is crucial for managing and pre-processing massive data sets like the ImageNet, um, which consists of over 14 million labeled images for computer vision tasks. So this by using HPC, it could take just minutes to generate this. And think of hyperparameter tuning. Finding the best hyperparameters for an AI model often involves running thousands of experiments. HPC clusters can do this simultaneously, speeding up the process and improving model performance. I would just like to ask you one question, that what if you are given a work and you are working alone on that, and what if you are given a work and 10 people are simultaneously working on it? Which one would be faster? Exactly. So 10 people working on it would give more result, more better insights onto it. And obviously it that is what parallelism is like, that is what HPC strives to achieve. And then in real time applications like autonomous vehicles ensures that HPC ensures that AI models can make predictions in milliseconds, which is critical for safety, and then generative AI like OpenAI's GPT-4 uses HPC for distributed training. AlphaFold uses for protein finding and problem, and milestone, that's a milestone in structure biology. And in healthcare, AI models are running on HPC clusters to have enabled faster diagnostics. And also another important consideration here is that NASA uses HPC to analyze vast amounts of its astronomical data. uh, then also one of the benefit here is that HPC brings a lot of speed, scalability, efficiency, and reliability to AI development. And also it ensures that AI is growing its complexity, and hence we can really contribute and continue to innovate this high performance computing at scale. That's the key takeaway from my presentation, that there's a lot of potential in HPC. And if you want me to tell about how key industry sectors are being benefited by this, it's that one of the examples in healthcare is analyzing DNA sequences for personalized medicine using HPC enabled AI. And then in climate sciences, they are HPC and AI both are used to simulate hurricanes and predict flooding. I can actually show you the log data analysis of HPC, but due to restrictions from the Argonne National Laboratory and other government officials, I couldn't show it here. But the potential of HPC is really great, and we require AI to make the analysis on the HPC logs, to understand its resources, to understand its capability, to optimize its workflow, and to make groundbreaking research. Another example that I'm currently working on, as I said, is the astronomy, where we are processing terabytes of telescope data for celestial event detection, and AI models are running on the HPC clusters to identify what are the exoplanets are. And think of stars when they collide. They
One second while Revati's Wi-Fi comes back. I just want to say though, just for everyone's knowledge, Revati is doing this workshop on a flight.
HPC would really make it
Oh,
move
there we
faster.
go. Hey Revati, you cut off. I think your Wi-Fi kind of went out for a second, so you may have to go back. Oh, There we go.
Oh, okay. I was just talking about how it is, helping the astronomy applications, like processing terabytes of telescope data for celestial events detection. Like we have a lot of clusters, we have a lot of dark planets, dark space matter, and to visualize its temperature, visualize the gases that are being created, the kind of movements that are going on in the space. So there's a lot of events that go on in space. So all this cannot be read or cannot be processed just by data analysis. So all you really require high performance computing for this, to render those 3D images, to render each and every particle, to show the properties of it, like what is the velocity of the particle in the x direction, y direction, or maybe some other direction. Taking it Think of it also in a way that when it collides with other clusters of particles, what are the other directions it can move on. So there are lot of properties that affect this, and all these properties, it's just it's it seems to be like data analysis and HPC is same, but there's a lot of difference. HPC has high computational power, whereas data analysis is just the analysis where it's just the way you're performing and trying to get insights out of it. And thank you, Pragna, for that. Like, yeah, yeah. I'm just trying to manage it. Yeah. So,
Thank you so much. Really, like we all just appreciate your dedication to sharing all this with us. There are a few questions
yeah.
posted, but before that, I would just like to reiterate that there is a feedback survey that we would love for everyone to fill out. So I'll just paste the link.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to the Q&A. So there are,
Yeah. I will just complete off my slides and then we can go ahead and answer a
all
few
right,
questions.
definitely.
Okay, so where I think more people are interested in how it's benefiting the finance and business. Basically, you can think of predictive modeling for stock markets. As you know, stock markets are very huge, and a lot of fraud detection is going on nowadays, and a lot of security reasons are there. Because of which, we need high performance computing to address these issues. So yeah, I'm open to questions, and yeah, I can take it. Yeah.
Yeah, so the first question is, what are the most exciting advancements in the AI that you have worked on or observed recently?
The most advancements in AI, I think I could say applying AI for especially the neural networks and deep learning of AI to scale the what we say to scale the different high performance computing aspects. Like take a supercomputer. When you as I said, when you get a lot of logs for it, you cannot just give your Jupyter notebook or your Python terminal, or even to your computer you cannot give GBs of data. Like literally you cannot give it gigabytes of data, it will crash, right? So but HPC has that power, that huge power to compute that parallelly and give you the results. So basically it's just doing the work for you, it's just doing your work easier. So that is where I have worked on. My work majorly focuses on HPC, but also including AI to see how it can transform the power of HPC.
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, this question was by Mia, so I think
Okay,
I'll
next
move on to
question.
the, yeah. What advice do you have for those interested in pursuing a career in AI and HPC?
Uh, I would say HPC is really booming right now. Though supercomputers are now in national laboratories, I would say that in near future we will require a lot of supercomputers to address the current challenges of AI. As you all know, to train a GPT-4 or to train Claude or maybe any kind of LLMs that you're seeing right now, if you say the data, there is huge data in Google as well, but to to compile all this data, you require a lot of time. But high performance computing can help AI LLM models to faster, uh, to gain a lot of insights, to have a faster result orientation, and it can really help the computational power, and it also will optimize the way it's being trained. So yeah, I think if you would if you want to work on it, I would say start just go to any workshops. I think Creator has already started a good way of introducing you to the new technologies that are currently being served in the industry, and even industry is looking for that. So I would say go to workshops, meet people who are like-minded in HPC, and try to contact people over LinkedIn. It has really helped me a lot as well, because no, if you are interested in it, you can start posting about it, start learning about it. There are lots of resources where you can start learning about HPC, and also for AI there is a lot of resources as well, as you all know. And if you really are interested in pursuing some degree on this, I think you need to get into master's programs at universities that are highly interested in high performance computing.
Hmm. That's a great advice, really. Like, I think connecting with people and learning from their experiences would be
Yes,
really the best.
that's
Um,
actually more faster than, because they know what are the ways they have failed, what the ways they have accelerated it. But
exactly.
when you learn by your own, there is a lot of slow progress. But
Hmm.
yeah, that's up to you. You guys can do it anyway.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so how do you think quantum computing might impact the future of AI and HPC?
I think quantum computing, that is where where we are heading right now. The kind of data that is being generated, the terabytes and petabytes of data that is being generated, we do need quantum computers to address this issue. Because also even if you think of one of the applications where if you want to render those 3D models that are being generated in the scientific domains, if you want to render those models in the websites, there would be a lot of lag, because it has to connect to the server, it has to go through a lot of layers of a network, and then render each point. So it would really require quantum computing to address this issue at a larger scale. Yeah.
Okay, great. There's one last question. Can you share an example of a problem where AI and HPC together provided a unique solution?
Yeah, I think this is exactly where I've worked, and as I've shared before, that I have worked on the log analysis of Polaris supercomputer. There, it used to generate a lot of error data, or maybe like, say for example, you have submitted a job to it, and it will take that job, it will compute it and give you the result. So in this process, there are a number of end users who have been using it, so there are errors being generated from it, or maybe due to some computational failure, there might be the system is down. Not the entire system goes down, because in HPC we work with nodes and clusters along all the supercomputer in the supercomputer. So sometimes one node goes down, sometimes the other node has a lot of temperature, and it might fail, or it might stop working. So these kind of issues will all these will be generated in logs, and when we get the raw logs, we try to reprocess it, and then use AI on the log data. And now when you use AI for this log data, it gives you a lot of insights, not only on how it's performing, but it also gives you the detailed analysis on its resource metrics. Resource metrics, what I mean to say, is how much data is being used by each node, cluster level data, cluster level temperatures, and then how each node is affecting each other's temperature. So there are lots of insights that's being generated.
I think we lost her again for we'll wait again for a few
Yeah.
minutes.
So yeah,
Okay.
that was the answer for the question. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I think those were all the questions. Does anyone have any other question? All right. I think then we are okay to wrap up this session. This was the last session for today. Thank you so much, Revati. She has been an incredible speaker. I know that she is traveling right now, but her dedication to still, deliver this session was like crazy,
Hi.
like crazy respect for you. Hey, hi.
Oh
So,
no, no problem. Hi. It is just a flight. What we say, the cabinet. Yeah.
okay, okay, I understand. I was just saying that like max respect to you, your dedication to
Thank you so
speaking.
much, guys, for having me. Yeah.
Yeah,
And thanks for
definitely.
all the people. I hope you guys are empowered by the way HPC is actually laying a groundbreaking research. And I
I
hope to
know
see
that.
you all there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. This was an incredible session, and despite a busy travel schedule, I know that you have delivered this session with such passion and clarity. I want to thank all of you for joining us today. It's been really wonderful to have you here. We are halfway through the Learnathon, and today's session, all of the sessions were, of course, fantastic. There's still so much more to come with 2 exciting days ahead. So check out the full schedule on the event page, and we'll see you at the next session. I'm gonna share the feedback survey link again, so it would be really great if you guys can fill out and make help us to make these sessions even better.
Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Mia. Thank you so much. Thank you, Halima. Yeah.
Thank you, Revati. All right, bye, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, Pratna. Yeah. Bye.